Happy 2026. We are just talking about how home value is determined and how things have kind of changed over the years. It used to be that if somebody wanted to know what their house was worth, they actually had to call, me or some other trusted real estate agent, and they'd do an analysis and figure out what the place is worth. But these days, that's only because we had access to the houses that had sold, and they didn't. But now people can pull up how much a house is sold for down the road, and they can pull up what their house is worth on the internet, right? But there's a lot of different places to do that, and there's a lot of information that those sites, they're not even really thinking about.
Right.
And so that's why they're usually wrong. I mean, sometimes they're right, but not. If you're in a house that's exactly the same as all of your neighbors, like within a mile in a condo or something, it's probably pretty close. But otherwise, there's so many things that they're just not considering when they just spit out a value on a house. So we thought we'd kind of chat about what are some of those things. And so when you see those online estimates, you can decide, if you want to take that at face value or give us a call, and we can kind of tell you where all this stuff fits in.
Right. A few things that if you just type in what's my house worth and punch in your address, you'll definitely get some values that are just they don't take in a lot of information that my mom and I wanted to talk about today, one of which is they don't really talk about anything to do with the interior of the home, how spacious or how confined certain rooms may feel. Showing many houses that have been virtually staged online that you think, man, I can fit a whole bedroom set in this room, and then you get down there and I'm 6 foot, and in some of these basements, I can't even walk through without crouching down. And how is the online resource going to know any of that to determine the value of that? Another thing is just what is the general noise of the area, right? There's a lot of neighborhoods here in Layton that are in close proximity to the base, and regardless of what you think about the base itself, the noise plays a huge factor into that, and the online resource is not going to know anything about that or how to affect the value with that. One last thing is just really how the flow of the house is, right? I can't tell you how many homes I've been in that, you're in the same neighborhood as another home and they're very similar square footage, but they just feel completely different when you walk in. One is really nice and open and easy to kind of walk through, and everything is kind of appropriately staged. And another one, it just kind of feels blocky, and there's just kind of some weird floor plans out there for sure. And anyways, the online resource does not take any of that into account when they just spit out a value to you.
Right, and it's interesting because they're looking at, obviously location, and then lot size, square footage, year built, but they don't really know much else, about the property. And, if one quarter acre lot versus the next quarter acre lot, if one of them's really private, has amazing landscaping, and then also they've even put in a swimming pool or a really nice playground, and they've got just full seclusion but still have really good views, versus the house next door that might be just completely blocked by a building or by some other type of feature. Those two homes are not going to be the same, even if they are literally the same otherwise. And then the other one thing that matters, Jonah can probably tell you more about this because he lived through it recently with the parking in Utah. It's just a big deal. We have 4 very distinct seasons, and when it snows, it snows,
yep.
And you definitely have to deal with that. And you tell them.
Well, if you've been like me, the first house that I purchased was north facing, which in the winter is, it is ridiculously snowy. It does not melt, and you've got to wake up every single morning before you go to work and shovel or snowblow. And I don't mind doing that, but the house that I live in now is south facing, and basically by the end of the day it just melts itself even if I don't shovel, which I got no problem shoveling, right? But I think that makes a big difference, and nowhere online are you going to see that is taken into account with the value. And also it's worth saying that doesn't necessarily make your home worth more or not to, as far as an appraiser's standpoint, but as far as a buyer's value of the house, absolutely makes a difference.
Yeah, it really does. We've seen people pay 10% more for a house that's next door to a house that, they're like, nope, don't want it no matter what it costs.
Right.
So it just definitely makes a huge difference. And we're not beating up on online estimating type resources. I mean, I think they're a great resource too. It just doesn't have the whole story. So if you really want to know what your property's worth, I mean, it doesn't cost anything. We're happy to help you figure that out. We just quickly walk through your house, or you could send us some videos and then we could give you a really, really accurate number, and then you at least know what that is. So if you have any questions about if certain upgrades will make something worth more, or if there's certain things that definitely are going to be good or bad to do to your home, we're always happy to help with that too.
Thanks so much, guys. Talk to you soon.
Thanks.